Hi, this is Mike, and the purpose of this video will be to answer the question, how do I make the pass line bet in craps? How do I win it? What is the probability of winning, and what is the house advantage? First, let's go over the rules of the pass line bet. And it's very logical, and I love to use flowcharts to explain logical things. So, you use two ordinary six-sided dice, and you roll them. That first roll is called a come out roll, but we'll call it the initial roll to keep it in plain simple English. If that initial roll is a 7 or an 11, then the player wins. If it's not, if that initial roll is a 2, 3, or 12, then the pass line bet loses. Otherwise, if it is a 4, 5, or 6, 8, 9, or 10, then the shooter will roll the dice again, with the object being to roll whatever that initial roll was. If the new roll is equal to the total of the initial roll, for example, let's say the initial roll was a total of 10, and the second roll is also a 10, then the pass line bet wins. If it's not, and the new roll is a 7, then the pass line bet loses. It's called a 7 out. It's why 7 is generally a bad number in craps. Otherwise, if it's not the initial roll and it's not a 7, then the shooter rolls the dice again with the same object of trying to roll whatever that initial roll was. If the next roll equals the initial roll, the pass line bet wins. If it's a 7, it loses. Otherwise, you roll again, and you keep rolling over and over and over again until the new roll either is the initial roll or a 7. In theory, the bet could go on forever with an infinite number of rolls, but it never does. It always resolves eventually, and the average number of rolls needed to resolve a pass line bet is 8.5255. Let's go through an example, shall we? This is the craps game on my website, Wizard of Odds. I think it's a much loved application on my site, and it shows all the bets in craps, so don't get intimidated by this. We're just going to worry about this pass line bet here. And you can tell it's a come out roll because this lammer up here that says off, that means that it's safe to make the pass line bet. Let's bet $100 on it and roll the dice. Okay, the initial roll was a 7, so we won. Even money. Let's do another roll. Another come out roll. This time it was an 11. Again, if the come out roll is a 7 or 11, you win. So let's make a third one. Another come out roll. A 2. So as a reminder, if the come out roll is a 2, 3, or 12, you lose. So I lost that one. Let's make another one. A 3, another pass line bet lost because it's a 2, 3, or 12. So let's make another one. 6. Okay, finally we have a point. The point is a 6. That lammer at the top now says on, and it's by the number 6 to remind us the point is a 6, the object is to roll a 6, and as always, except on the initial roll, you want to stay away from a 7. So, let's roll the dice again. Trying to roll a total of 6. It's a 10, nothing happens. It's a 9, nothing happens. Again, the only rolls where something happens at this point is on a 6 or a 7. An 8, nothing happens. 4, 9, 6, we win. We rolled a 6 before the 7. We won, even money, $100. So now it's a new come out roll. Let's go through a few more examples, shall we? So it's a new come out roll. Let's make our bet on the pass line. And a 7. Again, if the initial roll is a 7 or 11, you win. I won, so let's make a new pass line bet. A 4, the point is a 4, so we want to roll another 4. And a 9, nothing happens. 6, nothing happens. A 7. 7 out, we lost. So let's make a new pass line bet. 8, the point is an 8, so we're trying to roll another 8. Here we go, it's a 3, nothing happens. An 11, nothing happens. 8, we won. So I think we've covered all the ways the pass line bet can win or lose. To calculate the odds in craps, it's essential that you be able to calculate the probability of any given total with 2 dice. If you already know that, you can skip this part. So let's label the dice die 1 and die 2. Each one of them can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So in the body of this table here, let's put the total of the 2 dice. So here you can see every possible total from 2 to 12. And you can see that some totals happen more often than others, and let's take a closer look at that. So the possible totals can be anything from 2 to 12. So let's count the number of ways each total can happen. And let's take the total to make sure we did it right. Good. So 6 times 6 is 36, so 36 possible outcomes. So this table shows us there's 1 way to roll a 2, 2 ways to roll a 3, 3 ways to roll a 4, and so on. And to put that in terms of a probability, here's the probability of each total. Let's put that in a percentage basis. So you can see the most likely total here is the dreaded 7 in craps with a probability of 16.67%, or 6 in 36. The probability of a 5, for example, is 5 in 36, or 13.89%. So hopefully you understood that. Let's go on to the next part here of calculating the expected return of the pass line bet. So, as you know, there's a host of possible outcomes of the bet besides just winning and losing. There's different ways of winning and losing. One of them is a come out roll of 7 or 11. That pays even money, so we'll represent that by a pays of 1. As we saw from the previous part, the probability of rolling a 7 is 16.67%, and 11 is 5.56%. So the probability of winning on the come out roll is 22.22%. Another possible outcome is that the come out roll is a 2, 3, or 12. If that happens, the player loses. So we can represent the win there as -1, meaning the player lost his initial bet. So, as we saw from the previous part, the probability of rolling a 2 is 2.78%, a 3 is 5.56%, and 12 is another 2.78%. So the probability of losing on the come out roll is 11.11%. Another possible outcome is the point is a 4 or a 10, and then the player goes on to win. So we saw from the previous part the probability of rolling a 4 is 8.33% and a 10 is also 8.33%. So the probability of rolling a 4 or a 10 on the come out roll is 16.67%, but you don't always win. You only win 1/3 of the time when the point is a 4 or a 10. And why is it 1 in 3? Well, let's consider a point of 4, for example. There's 3 ways to roll a 4, and there are 6 ways to roll a 7. So given that a roll was a 4 or a 7, how shall I put this? There are 3 ways it could be a 4 and 9 total ways it can be a 4 or a 7. So 3 divided by 9 reduces to 1 divided by 3. So the probability of rolling a 4 or a 10 on the come out roll and then subsequently winning is 5.56%. So another possible outcome is rolling a point of 4 or 10 and then losing. So that's a similar formula, except, so the probability of rolling the 4 or 10 is still 8.33%, but the probability of losing it is 6 out of 9, or 2 divided by 3, because there's 6 ways to lose and 9 ways to win or lose. So 6 divided by 9 reduces to 2 divided by 3. So the probability of rolling a 4 or a 10 on the come out roll and then subsequently losing is 11.11%. Another possible outcome is rolling a 5 or 9 on the come out roll and then subsequently winning. So as we saw in the previous part, the probability of rolling a 5 or a 9 is 22.22%, 11.11% each. But given that you've rolled a 5 or a 9, the probability of going on to win is 4 divided by 10. Why is it 4 divided by 10? Let's consider a point of 5, for example. There's 4 ways to roll a 5 and 6 ways to roll a 7. So there's 4 plus 6 or 10 ways to roll a 5 or a 7, and 4 of those 10 ways result in a win. So given that the point is a 4 or a 10, the probability of going on to win is 40%. So the overall probability of rolling a come out roll of 5 or 9 and going on to win is 8.89%. Likewise, the probability of a come out roll of a 5 or a 9 and then going on to lose is that 11.11% of rolling the 5 or 9 to begin with, and then 60%, because once you've rolled a 5 or a 9, there's a 60% chance of losing, because there's 6 ways of losing and 10 ways you can win or lose. That doesn't look right. Yes. So there's a 13.33% chance of rolling a 5 or 9 on the come out roll and then going on to lose. Another possible outcome is rolling a 6 or an 8 on the come out roll and then going on to win. The probability of rolling a 6 or an 8 on the come out roll is 27.78%, but again, not all of those ways result in a win. Whether the point be a 6 or an 8, there are 5 ways to win and 6 ways to lose. So given that the point is a 6 or an 8, the chances of winning are 5 and 11. So all things considered, the probability of rolling a 6 or an 8 on the come out roll and then going on to win is 12.63%. Likewise, the probability of rolling a 6 or an 8 on the come out roll and then going on to lose, so the probability of rolling the 6 or the 8 to begin with, is 13.89% plus 13.89%, one for the 6, one for the 8, times 6 ways for the probability of rolling a 7 and losing, divided by 5 ways you can win and 6 ways you can lose. So given that the point is a 6 or an 8, the chances of losing are 6 in 11. So overall, the probability of rolling a 6 or 8 and 8 on the come out roll and then going on to lose is 15.15%. So let's add all this up and hope it adds to 100%. Yay, it does. So the return is simply the probability of any given event multiplied by how much the player wins if that event does happen. And the win is represented by -1 if he loses. So there's all the possible, what I call the contributions to the return. Let's add all those up, and we get -1.41%. That means that for every dollar the player bet on the pass line, he can expect to lose 1.41 cents, or 1.41% of whatever his total bet was. As long as I've come this far, I may as well address the don't pass bet, which is almost the opposite of the pass line bet. So let's modify all the hard work we already did for our pass line bet table. Okay, if on the don't pass bet, if the come out roll is a 7 or 11, then it loses. If the come out roll is a 2 or a 3, then the don't pass bet wins. So the probability of a 2 is 2.78% and a 3 is 5.56%. So the probability of winning the don't pass on the come out roll is 8.33%. The only thing that is not the mirror opposite is what happens on a come out roll of a 12. That will cause the pass line bet to win, but it causes the don't pass bet to only push. So we'll put a 0 for pays for a come out roll of a 12. As we saw from the first math part, the probability of a 12 is 2.78%. And here we can just reverse these. Let's reverse the word win with a placeholder for now. Okay, so as we saw for the pass line bet part, the probability of a 4 or a 10 on the come out roll and then subsequently winning is 5.56%. That will cause the don't pass bet to lose. The probability of rolling a 4 or a 10 on the come out roll and then subsequently rolling a 7, causing the don't pass to win, is 11.11%, and so on. We basically just reversed the wins and the losses here for the don't pass bet. And at the end of the day, the expected return on the don't pass bet is negative 1.36%. That means that for every dollar you bet on the don't pass, you can expect to lose 1.36%. That's a little bit less than the pass line bet, which, as you may recall, was 1.41%. So it's just a little bit better, 0.05%. And I might add that this is defining the house edge as the expected loss per bet made. Some other very old books on craps will quote 1.40%, which is the probability, which is the expected, which is the house advantage based on a bet resolved, which is not counting the pushes on a 12. I'm probably confusing the issue with that, but I just know someone would ask in the comments if I didn't address it. So there you have it, house advantage of 1.36% on the don't pass, 1.41% on the pass. And let me tell a little bit about some of my other craps videos. Okay, for more information about the pass line bet or craps in general, I of course recommend my own website here, Wizard of Odds. I have a bunch of gambling instructional videos. To find those, go down here, click on gambling videos, and I just did a whole 5-part series on craps, which doesn't just go over the pass line bet, but all the bets in craps. And yeah, for these I had a real craps table. I had my friend Angela and an actual craps dealer. So anyway, I won't make a video of a video, but that's kind of what it looked like. And I invite you to check out my craps videos. For more information about craps, and my website in general, Wizard of Odds, has all kinds of analysis about craps, every single bet, all kinds of new side bets. I think I say everything you could possibly say about craps. And with that, I think there is nothing left to say, so thank you for watching.